Meanwhile, in a bar in Hutton Orbital, two truckers are having a conversation.
Evening, mate.
Alright, you filthy trucker.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. What have you been up to then?
Well, with all these ships out there being a filthy trucking bunch of killer truckers, I thought I'd buy a new combat ship.
What, you giving up trucking, have you?
Well, I thought I'd give it a go, you know? You've got to have a go, don't you?
Yeah, right on, Commander.
Don't you start that again.
So, what'd you buy then? One of those vultures?
Nah. I bought one of them Federal assault ships and went out tooled up for trouble.
Wait, I thought the feds didn't like you after that incident in the bar. No ranking?
You filthy trucker. Nah, I went to one of their stations, right, and went to buy one, and the jumped up filthy trucking son of a trucker said no.
What'd you do?
Well, gave him an headbutt.
An headbutt?
Yeah, an headbutt.
That's a bit fucking much. How do you respond to that one then?
He said I was perfectly qualified to fly a FAS, and after stuffing a pair of cotton balls up each nose, he sold me one.
That'd teach that filthy trucker. So what'd you use it for?
Well, I went out around George's pants looking for trouble. This cop comes up to me and he says, "Submit to a scan, Commander."
So what'd you do then?
Well, I stopped, didn't I? Filthy trucker flew in and gave me an headbutt.
An actual headbutt?
Yeah, blew up, didn't he? His mates didn't like it, so I scarpered. Back to the station. Going through toast rack, and you never guess what, mate.
What?
Well, I missed it, didn't I? Gave the station an headbutt.
An headbutt?
Yeah, and blew up.
Oh, right.
Well, bought the ship back and went out. A bit of mining. Forgot my mining laser, didn't I? So you know what I did?
Well, I'd imagine you'd come back for the right gear, didn't you?
Nah, I found the nearest rock and gave it an headbutt, mate.
Not an headbutt.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
I blew up again, didn't I? Well, decided it weren't for my trucking day, So went out for a little trading.
No, what, in your FAS?
Well, yeah. I jumped into the next system. I saw Flossie. You never guess what she did.
She did,
Yeah, she headbutted the sun, didn't she?
Oh, no, not again.
Well, shortly afterwards, right, this code guy comes up and he demands all my stuff.
You're a filthy trucker.
Mother trucking, filthy trucking trucker.
Well, what'd you do?
Well, it was only fair. I gave him an headbutt.
What, in your FAS?
Well, yeah, like that it was.
What did he do?
Well, he gave me one back like this.
Christ, it worked.
Well, yeah, he ran away.
Oh,
I went to a res site to get some bounty hunting in. Saw this anaconda shooting missiles everywhere. Every couple of seconds, another one, mate.
what, did you bring your point defence then?
Nah. I was in a FAS. I took him on a forehead, mate.
What, headbutt?
Yeah, well, like this.
Easy, mate, you spilled me drink. I had a similar circumstance once. I was in the radio station watching Dick Chafin work.
Filthy trucker.
Yeah, proper filthy. Well, the music started skipping and jumping and crackling all over the place. And Simon ran in, and do you know what he did?
He didn't.
He did. Filthy trucker gave a Dex an headbutt. Sorted it right out. And this other time, we was watching this race, right? And the SDC had turned up and were trying to pee in our pool.
Filthy truckers.
No, not truckers, that Nitec bloke. Well, I sent him a message, didn't I? Would you mind stopping that, please? You're spoiling everyone's fun.
Well, what did he do? Give you a set of well-reasoned arguments about the validity of combat over planet surfaces? Shout pirate phrases over the radio?
Nah, headbutts.
Well, did it?
Yeah, killed me dead.
Our mics are live.
Good evening, truckers everywhere. By George, it's Earth Day, and I am your host, Dick Chafing.
What on earth? It's St. George's Day, and I'm Wilma Fingerdoo.
It's also Shakespeare's birthday, and on behalf of Alvin, I say, cry dog for Harry Balzac and St. George.
Lou called me his dragon, but he's gone to Earth this week, leaving me, Norma Snookers. Alas, I am one who loved not wisely, but too well.
We've heard a rumour that an updated version of Hollow Cecil will be available soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow. So Throughout the programme, I and my fellow presenters will be testing out some of the cocktails that Hollow Cecil can help you to make if he's installed in your cockpit. I'm going to start with a slurp of something called a caustic dribble. So if I press the wrong buttons, at least I'll have an excuse this week. But for now, on with the news. And I'll go do the intro properly this time.
Got no range.
It's alright, we got this.
Yeah, let's have some bongs. There ain't no party like a cyborg party.
Wizard visits Hutton with a warning.
The heat is on for one willful pilot.
With great power comes great power cuts.
Sticky seats, overpriced snacks, the problems of home cinema.
Taking photos for the blind.
Lou sent over some kind of used napkin with his BGS update on it.
And Norma seems to have Flossie's bit between her teeth. It was time to party like it's Wool 359 this week, as the system celebrated a public holiday by declaring it to be Borg Appreciation Day. Truckers embraced the festivities dressed as shambling cyborgs, threatening to assimilate the buffet and, of course, telling their belt buckles that resistance is futile. Though a couple of geeks were seen saying that to superconductors as they lowered their shields and prepared to surrender their hips. There was a Dress Your Infant as Jean-Luc Picard competition, with the top prize going to the cutest baby, and the whole day was rounded off with an exhibition of cube dancing in 7/9 time, the only sour notes in an otherwise magic carpet of a day, the only sour notes in an otherwise magic carpet of a day were when one individual was tempted to add their biological distinctiveness to someone else's for all of 0.68 seconds. And an ill-placed ocular implant which nearly had someone's eye out.
There are some who call him Tim. Hutton had a visit this week from a mysterious figure, the so-called Tim the Enchanting. He'd left the safety of his usual abode in the caves of Caerbannog to bring his staff of one see how we did things at the Orbital. Still traumatised by Buck's appearance at VECM, he'd followed rumours of an assassin from Van Marnenstar who was hiding in our corridors, the so-called Killer Abbott, who had nasty big pointy teeth. He said that he knew he was at the right place because of the grail-shaped beacon that had drawn his attention and the foul stench of hell once he disembarked. Unfortunately, we had to disabuse him. The beacon was in fact Simuth's non-incendiary light that he needed to use in the fetid space where he houses his collection of rare farts. And the stench? Well, Simuth again, but all his own work this time. Despite our attempts to show Tim our choir, who were all wearing identical eyewear, he disappeared rather rapidly, so we were unable to show him the choral specs. Bollocks.
During the recent holo test by the Pilots Federation, Commander Scotty NR showed the cruel side of his nature. To quote the birthday boy, "As flies to wanton boys are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport." Wanting a quick return from Salom's reach, this latter-day sadistical Marquis de Bernard decided to forego the usual methods of a quick death, namely by initiating self-destruct, or by turning off the shields and diving headfirst at a high-G planet, or by letting Cecil take over the cockpit and asking him to be very, very careful. Instead, Scotty NR decided to do the space equivalent of focusing a star's rays through a magnifying glass and watching what happened to the ants below. He calmly landed his Anaconda on a nearby planet, closed the vents to initiate silent running, and stood back as he and a few friends, we think we heard Buck Naked's voice in there somewhere, watched as the ship slowly, ever so slowly, piece by piece, started to show signs of distress. At first there was no visible sign of the maelstrom that was growing in the belly of the beast, just a sense of unease from the witnesses, as they felt just a little embarrassed to be taking an unfeeling part of the unfolding spectacle. Voices became hushed as almost imperceptibly on the surface of the ship there were just a few small gouts of flame, such as you might see when Moose demonstrating how he can use his own internal gas supply for a Turkish barbering technique on his own arse hair. Just little petamanes that greatly caressed different parts of the huge ship. After a while, these seemingly inconsequential fireworks subsided, and all was calm. For a short while, strange noises were heard, as if internal bulkheads were collapsing and pressures re-equalizing on the stricken vessel. Then once more, all was quiet. But not for long. A succession of flickering lights were seen on the underbelly of the behemoth, and within seconds it was finally all over. Hot 964 had made the ultimate sacrifice just to give one commander an easy ride home. We at Hutton Orbital do not condone this kind of snuff movie, even if it was made during a holo test. It's a small step from this to Shouty demanding we broadcast his poetry.
And Dick will now read his part.
I'm on it. I've got it. I was just trying to do the caring voice over. I'm still
Silently.
muted. Yes. I thought I would just switch on the background music as it instructed me in the script and realised I hadn't got prepared. Never mind. These things happen. If you have been affected by any of the issues in this news article, please contact the one charity that works tirelessly to stop this kind of cruelty, and perhaps consider sending them some credits. Contact the Society for Protecting Under-Resourced Modules. Yes, if you'd like to be a sperm donor, please place your donation in the bucket. Really? All that for that? Oh, God.
Oh, sorry. We're worried about power. Not the sort of power that you show people in the galaxy map when they're asked, so what is the bubble? Or the sort that is apparently symbolised by a large, uncomfortable looking metal chair, and apparently can only be won after several women have stood around in drafty castles without any clothes on. No, after descending into infrastructure failure for a second time, Hutton Power Limited has been forced to issue a statement blaming unusual usage, as pilots are staying in their quarters, no longer roaming the galaxy delivering mugs. They say about this, combined with a dodgy batch of power converters, has put a strain on their ability to produce power. Their spokesman did give us a statement, but there was a lot of interference. All we could make out was that some girl called Jenny is to blame.
In an attempt to Cheer up, pilots who are full of NUI. After the completion of Operation Hot Mess, the Pilots Federation have started to host movie nights. We suggested a 2010 action movie starring Angelina Jolie as a CIA agent who goes on the run after a defector accuses her of being a Russian spy, but apparently there was something about the name of the title character that they didn't like. In the end, they went for something suitable for a drive-in, Jurassic Car Park, where bioengineered lizards feed on California Gateway, or as they call it, Hollywood, residents as movie night goes Real D, the dastardly Don demonstrating deadly dinosaurs dining during devourment. Oh no, denouement. Denouement? Denouement. I have no idea, it's just a word. Real D, as we sure you are all aware, is the current level of realism for movies. There was 3D that increased realism and made you duck, but needed special glasses that made the audience look like a before picture in an advert for Specsavers. Then there was 4D, which was exactly the same except that your chair vibrated like dead meat had let one off of his monster bottom burps, or someone threw a bucket of water at your face. Since then, there's been moving chairs, cinemas built on fault lines to get a truly realistic rumble, whole-body haptic feedback suits for specialist entertainment. For obvious reasons, these suits had to be purchased. No rentals available. All of this has culminated in Real D. You do not require any special glasses or equipment. The character is modeled to look exactly like you. And if in the movie the character loses a limb or gets eaten, then you receive the same exact experience. For those of you who are asking what's the difference between real life and Real D, it's simple. The snacks are cheaper.
Some may argue that it's the second best liquid that you can put in your Hutton mug if you're out of Centauri Mega Gin. But whatever. Unquestionably, Hutton takes the tea. Teabagging, tea time, or in the case of the healthier truckers, PT. Mr. T, I ain't getting on no beluga. For the hippies, we have tea tree. There are T9, T7, T10, and the T6. But this is an entirely different cup of tea. It's a charity. It has all gone to the dogs. But this time, dogs of a different stripe. Or rather, harness. The guide dogs. On Tuesday of this week, led by Dayglow Viking, myriad people throughout the galaxy took selfies with a mug of tea. Well, they say it's tea, but how can you tell in a picture? To take part in the Great Guide Dogs virtual tea party, and attempted to break the Guinness Galaxy record for the number of simultaneous participants whilst raising money for the Guide Dogs for the Blind Association. Whilst our own fluffy leader is of course a hearing dog, he is nonetheless very supportive of any charity that helps others and has given this his paw print of approval. Apparently it's taking a while to verify the record attempt, since the organisers need to see everyone's faces to assure that there's no cheating. And we're worried that pilots may have forgotten to remove their PPE. That's Pilots Pulchritude Enhancers. We'll bring you news as we get it.
Hutton Space is very simple at the moment, which is probably down to most of the galaxy spending the last 2 weeks cramming themselves into cardboard spaceships, and then complaining when the copy deck seems to give way. Now, I'm going to give this introduction in two ways. The simple one that everyone with an IQ in double figures can understand, and then again in a step-by-step version because none of you truckers ever listen, let alone think. Leave everything alone that isn't below 40%. And if it is, give it a little, and I mean a little, boost. That's version 1. Version 2. Hill Pass C is too low. Do good things for Hutton. Do bad things to Hill Pass C liberals. Stein 2051 and LHS 340 are too low. These are little systems. Do a little bit of good things for Hutton. You don't need to be mean to anyone in those. For the 3 systems mentioned, when they get to 50%, stop. Immediately. Do not pass go. Do not collect 100 mugs. Finally, leave every other system alone. Do not touch anything. Pretend that they have mods, but that they're AEDC systems and we don't want to help them. Seriously, leave them alone. Okay, you got that? Right. King Spanky has sent the following over from Colonia. Hand in bounties at Eel Proco Centurion tier. Missions and passenger missions in Eel Proco Centurion tier. Buy low, sell high in Eel Proco Centurion tier. Exploration data can be cached in Eel Proco Centurion tier. Make sure you're at Dollar Depot. His special instructions are to make tier great again. I mean, make tier go over 20% by doing the right stuff, whatever that is. I thought it was a clumsy madrigal about teenage shagging. Not sure how that will help. Anyway, over to Norma.
Normally, this item would be something that would be talked about later in the show, but for reasons that will become apparent, assuming you're paying attention, I am going to make this announcement here, amongst the regular news, instead of Flossie telling you in her CG news. Led by Commander Thin Rain, Baz's Big Bubble Banter Bus is leaving on a trip this coming Sunday, this 26th of April. He'll be touring notable locations around the bubble and is inviting commanders to join him for daily shenanigans every day from 9 PM UK time, that's 8 PM UTC, for 26 consecutive days. Challenges will include: how many different ship types can we get into one selfie? Can we outnumber the pirates at the rest sites? And of course, potentially attempting to land on the high G worlds without going oops. Every evening from 9 PM, join Baz in the Banter Bus channel on Hutton's TeamSpeak. Get into the Hutton private group and listen out for the cry of all aboard. Multi-crew, wing, or just being in the same instance will be available. Currently, this event does not include Hotbox pilots, but if any Hotbox commander would like to organise a simultaneous parallel event, please let Commander Thin Rain know. Commander Thin Rain's representative, Vice Floyd, will be along after the news to bring us more detail and to answer questions.